very delicate. Hello everybody, welcome to another Patreon video. A short month this month, so I feel like it feels early to be recording this, but here I am. You might be able to see from behind me that all the Beanie Baby stuff is ongoing. Let me just show you. I don't know if it'll work if I drag the frame while I'm already recording. I'm kind of zoomed in. I'll explain in a moment. See? Do you see behind me? It's a Teeny Beanies poster from McDonald's. Not too much. Okay. Yeah. No matter how zoomed in I am, I didn't manage to disguise the big Diet 7-Up box. That's just right there. But, you know, it is what it is. So today the winning topic, by I think quite a lot, is I'm going to react to the edgy Powerpuff Girls webcomic that I was recently talking about on Twitter. I'm already nice and zoomed in. I'm going to be shrinking down into the corner like it's a Twitch stream, and then we'll be able to see the comic in full screen. But I wanted to say first that I never read this one as a kid, despite really loving Powerpuff Girls. And also, like, I did have a phase where I tried to read webcomics. It's sort of a painstaking art form to consume, in my opinion, especially, well, I was gonna say especially in the early days of the internet, but I think this is inherent with webcomics, that, like, you can't rely on them actually updating. And even the ones that, like, the artist sticks with over the years long enough to see the story actually unfold, even those ones, because of how long it takes to draw each page, it's like one of those, like, Christmas advent calendars where you get a sentence of a story every day. It's like, that's just too slowly to really enjoy the ride, in my opinion. So I feel like your only hope for a webcomic is, like, finding one that's already been going a really long time and having a lot to binge. And I think the more modern practice is that people will, like, drop chapters. Like, each month a whole new chapter comes out. But even then, like, the amount of labor per drawing as opposed to how far each page can progress the story chronologically feels very unbalanced. So anyway, yeah, as a tween on the internet in the I don't know, the old times, I mainly looked at, like, comedy webcomics, not long-form story ones. I think the first one I read that was, like, an overarching story was Mega Tokyo, which is so cringy in hindsight. That's a horrible webcomic. I'm sorry if anyone currently likes it, or if the creator of Mega Tokyo supports me on Patreon. I don't know, I could do a whole video on that. Not a real video, but, like, a Patreon video. Actually, no, I couldn't. Basically what you can say about Mega Tokyo is that it's, like, this weird, embarrassing and deeply personal seeming wish fulfillment of like a white otaku fan artist boy goes to Tokyo with his buddy who loves video games and they're quirky, and then, like, as soon as he lands, every different cliche archetype of fantasy anime girl finds him and falls in love with him, and I think all of them fall in love with him because of how good he is at drawing anime. So, you know, that's great. There was, like, vampy former idol, like, MILF character, and I say MILF, but she was probably, like, 26. Literal high school girl, who I think was also, like, a Sailor Moon. She was, like, a magical girl. Mysterious goth girl, and, like, current anime voice actress, like, shy idol girl. They all just really love his sad anime girl drawings. Anyway, I wasn't aware of this webcomic when I was young. I think it may have already existed, though. And honestly, if I had found it in the correct year of my life, I could imagine myself being, like, really into it, because I love Powerpuff Girls. I feel like it's got that, like, level of edginess that you only think is cool when you're, like, age 11 to 12, and then when you get a little older, it just feels really embarrassing. So yeah, like, 11-year-old me who loved Teen Titans and Cartoon Network and the Powerpuff Girls and stuff, and, like, just really wanted to be a Powerpuff Girl, I think I could have really loved this. I mean, I'm saying this when I haven't read any of it yet, but this is based on what I know about it. Also, the second place topic was, like, nostalgic memories from the internet as a kid, so I'm just gonna briefly talk about one that's relevant to the topic, is thinking about this webcomic had me reminiscing about the Cartoon Network game site called Cartoon Orbits, I think, and it was like Neopets-esque, but it was worse. and you collected like stickers. I think on the site they were called stickers. So you would like, I think you earned points literally just by like clicking around the site, and you earned them like really slowly. And then you could go to the shop and buy like stickers of characters, which were basically just like a still image of a Cartoon Network character that you could then like drag around your little virtual room. It was basically like you were arranging them on a desktop background. It was like very low tech, but I wanted to collect like all the Powerpuff Girls in the game, obviously. And then of course, they're like to encourage trading with other users, they like retire the stickers, but they still show them all in the catalog. So I would like look through and be like, oh, I want Blossom in like a princess dress, but oh, it's retired. I didn't spend nearly as long as I did on like Neopets on that site, but I would say I spent a good amount of time there and had a bunch of Powerpuff Girls stickers. Anyway, let's hop over to the webcomic, right? Let's see what it's all about. This is the main page. Oh, also, I didn't realize, but somebody on Twitter told me that the Billy and Mandy comic was its own comic, and then the Powerpuff Girls was a separate comic, but I think they cross over at some point, maybe permanently, like maybe this one was first, and then this one just like took over second, but then the old characters came over for it. Very unclear. I thought I might start from the beginning and get like a little taste of it, and then I can just jump forward to where it's at now and see what's going on. Oh god, there's an Invader Zim one too. I'm really hoping this page is easy to navigate, because that was another thing I hated about webcomics, is like a lot of them were not intuitive at all about how to get around. Oh no, spoilers, this is where it's at now. I see my life as a teenage robot. They're in space. There's a rowdy rough boy in the background. Cool, cool, cool. So that's chapter 1. Okay, here's another thing. Like, I'm just gonna say it. It's cringe, but I'm gonna say it. I feel like, you know, given my love of like Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and stuff like that, this like reimagining of Dexter into like a post-pubescent, like tall, sexy nerd boy, I feel like I would have been all over that when I was an 11-year-old. So again, you know, there but by the grace of God go I could have been a huge, big fan of this webcomic. Why does the camera, I kind of got it for like the cover, because I feel like that's an anime thing, like on covers and stuff like that, where the characters are kind of like falling passively through space in kind of like a stylized fantasy way. So like maybe the camera's positioned below them and their clothes are like fluttering in the wind. But like, why did this panel need to be shot from like a downward angle looking up at like the petticoats under their skirts? But they're still dressed in a very like child way, especially this like ruffly peplum top. This almost feels like something you would put like a 2-year-old in. How sweet. These must be your little angels. They even have their own colored uniform. So these are not for the school, but the school does have a uniform. They just have their color-coded versions of it. I love how like sexy they've drawn Professor Utonium. What happened here? What's going on with her arm? What year was this published? Like this page? Oh. The oldest comment's from 2015, but I feel like it's older than that, and these are just from like the newest iteration of the site. Maybe I can Google it. Okay, yeah, the original run was 2004. So yeah, I mean, like, I could have found this when I was little, but oh well. I love like just sneak him in. I wonder if this character will matter later. This image, just like this pose, this panel. Oh, the way he talks. Oh. Greetings, new classmates. On behalf of all my friends, I would just like to express my most sincere apology concerning that little event this morning. Do you think he's doing it in the accent? Greetings, new classmates. That's my best Dexter. It's not great, but it's my best. Is it true that you are what you claim to be? That you are superheroes? Wouldn't they be like famous in this universe? Even if they moved to a different town, people would have like heard of them, or at least once they said their group name, be like, oh yes, I'm aware of that. Perhaps you'd like to see a sample of my capability, and to prove which of us holds true. This is like one of my biggest pet peeves is when people write like brainy dialogue, but they don't have a complex enough grasp of the English language to like get it. Like, the words are being used in kind of a correct way, but it just falls apart grammatically, where you're like, okay, they sort of have like access to a thesaurus, and you can't even be like, oh, they're completely wrong about the definition of that word. It's just like, this sentence is not constructed in the correct way. It's honestly one of the most embarrassing things, and I feel like people overestimate how hard they have to work to get a character to sound smart. Because I think most of it, if you're writing like a brainiac character, would just be speaking in like a stilted way. Here's foot in your mouth. Oh my god. You will refer to me as none other than Dexter Boy Genius. He has a mech suit. No. Oh, this page is broken. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Like, this shot, was this necessary? Especially, the funny thing is, like, he's already put Blossom in the foreground, so it would take no effort at all to just scooch her big hair bow over this much. And then you wouldn't have all of this going on. It's not explicitly lewd. It's like, well, there's no detail there. It's just a little white rectangle. And that's just the way she landed. But this reminds me so much of my BronyCon video where it's like, there's enough deniability that it's not weird, but like we can all see the writing on the wall. And again, like I said in the BronyCon video, it's like, I can't arrest you for this, but like, I can decide that I get creepy vibes from you. And that everyone else can too. They probably should. I mean, we're not that far into it, but already a pattern is becoming clear. Interesting. It would appear you have joined forces in hopes of defeating me. Very well, Powerpuff Girls. Let's rumble. I don't know if I should be summarizing this as I go. Basically, they started at a new school, and Dexter's laboratory, his last name is Laboratory. Dexter's laboratory walked up to them and was like, so you're superheroes? Well, so am I. And then he suddenly was wearing a robot suit, and now they're trying to fight him to the death. Okay, what did I say about a pattern emerging? Because again, he picked this angle. Imagine if she was rotated slightly away from the camera. Her face can still be cheating out like it's a stage play. He also has control of the physics of her clothes. This could have been longer. It could have been fluttering at a different angle. There is something very deliberate about the choices that are being made here. I'm not trying to like beat a dead horse. I'm sure this is everyone's hot take about the comic, is that it looks kind of perverted and it's about like underage girls who are dressed like toddlers but with really short skirts and really big feet. But it needs to be remarked upon. Wouldn't it be a little weird if I went over this whole comic and that was just the elephant in the room the whole time? Or I was like, I love these camera angles, wow! I guess in the interest of fairness, I'll give credit where credit is due, that all three of these images, he could have just had weird looks at like their panty-covered crotches, and he didn't, so hooray for progress. It's Samurai Jack. Ugh, oh my god, what? This panel looks awful. Like, my eye can't even parse what I'm looking at. Jeez, I need to scroll back up and figure out what's going on. Oh, okay. What's going on is like, this is just a thing that's in frame. These characters are watching from the rooftop. You can tell like he drew them in the distance, and then for the close-up he's like, I'll draw this, but I'm not doing a background too, because like, look at all this. Can you imagine, like, I feel like there's a finesse to character design, and you'll see it a lot in like Disney movies too, where you'll see the concept art and the characters will look like way more interesting and detailed and stuff and like nuanced, and then you see the final art and they're just like a big round head and big old eyes, and they're like the simplest design imaginable. And it's probably because when you have something that looks like this, it's complex, but it looks really awful. Like, especially once you get to like the face region, everything falls apart. You're like, your brain, being a human brain, is trying to look for things that might be like the face of this creature, and like dimension is unclear. So like, is the face in here? But this kind of looks like the neck, like maybe it's recessed. Maybe this is the most protruding part of the head, but maybe it's these up here. Are these like goggles? Like, if this thing was talking to me, I wouldn't know how to look it in the eyes. And he's also made some kind of, like, fourth Powerpuff Girl that's like a white, sad girl Powerpuff Girl with these, like, mysterious glowing eyes. Honestly, I would have loved that as a kid. I think every child's unoriginal concept for Powerpuff Girls is like, I'll have an OC, and it's just another Powerpuff Girl, but it's not a color that they've done before. In my friend group, we all wanted to be the purple one because purple is, like, a really popular color among little girls. It was my favorite color and a lot of other people's favorite color, and it wasn't used in the show. So yeah, everyone wanted to be the purple Powerpuff Girl. I know that they added one, and I think she's like cyan or something. I think she's not purple. I'm gonna look it up. Okay, no, she is purple. I remember this like offensive episode where they have like the mentally handicapped sister. That one was purple, but everyone just kind of ignored that episode. But yeah, the new one with this, her hair is cyan. That's why I was confused. But her name is Bliss, and she's purple. I honestly think it's really weird that she's like older and has hips. I would have liked if she was just the same size as all the other ones. Or if they wanted to do like the kind of jumping the shark moment and make like a new appealing one, she could have been even younger. She could have been a littler Powerpuff Girl. But like, I don't know. I'm sure they explain it in the show, but I think it's weird that she's like, I think she's coded to be like a tween, and that's why she's shapelier and older. But I just find that odd. I think she should have proportionally and like stylistically matched the other three. But yeah, I would have been all about this character as a kid. Actually, maybe I wouldn't have. Maybe I would have been jealous that they had added a fourth Powerpuff Girl that wasn't Jenny, that wasn't myself. God, I wonder if there's like a chapter page that will just show me like my options. Oh. Okay, the answer is yes, but like the list of chapters is 44 pages long, and granted there's only like 8 a page, but that's still a lot of chapters. I think I'll keep going chronologically until I like have the lay of the land, and then I'll just start skipping sporadically. Just as I've noticed all of the shots that are like up the skirts of the girls, and like even when nothing's showing, the physics always have their skirts like flipping up and stuff. Actually, I think you can see a little underwear there. But another thing I've noticed is that he really likes to draw their feet like in the foreground so that their feet are like really big and you're like really seeing their feet. And in a way, like they also have big feet, like their character designs. And in a way that's kind of fair play, because that was kind of true of the Powerpuff Girls too. Like their leg was just a big chunky stick and their foot was like big. I don't know how else to say it. Their feet are big in the real character design, but in this, they're even bigger. See, very next page. Look at these feet. They're just coming right at you. Oh, this is embarrassing. I don't even know, honestly. I think this chapter we've had like a time skip to another point in time. This is... I can tell he like thinks this is really funny. I think Mega Tokyo did that too, where it's like, oh, we'll have all these meta jokes, and like the thing that makes it funny will just be that like you recognize it from nerd pop culture. I told you none of this anime stuff during training. Yeah. Oh, and then they have the little Sailor Moon. Okay. Yep, I've heard of those things. Oh my god. I love Courage the Cowardly Dog, but I hate this reimagining of him. I hate seeing him with anime eyes. I think that's just awful. I kind of liked that like his character design in the real show is he's like ugly. It kind of reminds me of like the Klasky Suppo cartoons like Wild Thornberrys and Rugrats and stuff, where they liked drawing like ugly little main characters with like lumpy heads and weird mouths and stuff. I think there's something really endearing about that, and I think that was the appeal of Courage. But here he is looking like a Barbie movie pet. Courage? That's an unusual name for a dog. No, it's not, Blossom. Just tell us you're fishing for his backstory and call it a day. I'm really sad that they've done this stylistic thing where the face is framed out, because I would have loved to see hot anime Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog, but I've been robbed of it. Why is Dexter blushing? Is this gonna be the ship? It's funny because I've already kind of gathered that Dexter is going to be like the fantasy author insert character. So I was wondering this whole time, like, surely he's gonna date one of the Powerpuff Girls. And just like with My Little Pony, I feel like you can tell a lot from someone based on which of these characters they want to date. So wanting to date Blossom is, in my opinion, just like wanting to date Twilight Sparkle from My Little Pony. And it's like, I want a nerd girlfriend. But, like, I feel like when guys want to date Twilight Sparkle, and in this case, when you want to date Blossom, I feel like they both labor under the same very obvious misconception, which is like they're projecting what they think having a nerd girlfriend would be like. So they're looking at Blossom and Twilight Sparkle and they're like, oh, a nerd girlfriend. She's going to love watching Marvel movies with me and all the anime that I like and stuff like that. And it's like, not really. Like, neither of those characters had those interests. They just kind of liked to read books. It's a very different personality type. That it's like the division of geek versus nerd. Who is this character? Is this a Samurai Jack character I don't know about? Ew. Look at how Billy is drawn in this universe. And then Mandy is just drawn like a hot anime girl or whatever. But ew, that doesn't translate well. Couldn't they give him a glow up too? Like equal opportunity. Okay, they're definitely shipping Blossom and Dexter. Check that out. And here again, this is like the drinking game, is like every time you can see the panties of the underage girls, take a drink. And I feel, again, there would be kind of a defensive thing where it's like, well, they're girls and they're fighting in short skirts and flying around. That's just what would happen. And again, I say, you're controlling where the camera is. You're controlling the wind physics in your own drawings. And third, you don't see that in the cartoon. I don't remember any moments in Powerpuff Girls where you're seeing, like, butt shots. Why is she blushing? No, don't do this. Maybe it's just like a crush. It's just like an innocent one-way crush. I hope. Oh, no. This kid looks familiar. This has got to be from a Cartoon Network show. But I guess not one that I watched that much. He looks so familiar. Was it like that one where kids are trapped on an island or something like that? Somebody fill me in on who Glasses Boy is. Maybe he's just like an incidental character from Grim Adventures or Dexter's Lab. It's Anime Mojo Jojo. Ew, he has to bandage her thigh. They're really trying to make this happen. I love, like, the come hither glamour pose of their, like, little, oh, she's evil. The anti-Powerpuff. In that case, shouldn't, like, these parts of the dress be black and then the stripe could be white to show that she's, like, a sinister inverse Powerpuff? Whatever. Okay, My Life as a Teenage Robot. I was never that into that show. I think from the ads, I was hoping it would have, like, a little more pathos, like, at least the maturity level of, like, Teen Titans, which I really liked at that time, or, like, Danny Phantom. I feel like Danny Phantom was very comedic, but also had, like, drama, and I never got that from any of the episodes I saw of My Life as a Teenage Robot, so I didn't like it very much. The ferret is unexpected. Wish I knew where this came from, but I guess I'll just have to accept it. So this is some kind of, like, government facility, probably like Area 51 or something, and they're secretly training My Life as a Teenage Robot against the Rowdy Rough Boys. Oh, this is a Fairly Odd Parents character, so I guess we're mixing networks. That's actually kind of unexpected. I've gotta love this leg pose. I was just like imagining someone walking like that with like their big noodly chunky legs. Ew! Look at Timmy Turner. I'm just gonna skip a little bit until something interesting's going. That's, okay, this is a Invader Zim character. So that third comic was an Invader Zim comic. Were these all happening simultaneously and just kind of doing coy crossovers, like being set in the same universe? Or was it like one after the other and these are sequels to each other? His eyes. They're so beautiful. Yeah, I wish I could look into the eyes of Dexter's Lab. Oh, God. It's anime Ed, Ed, and Eddie. I don't like that. Okay, I'm super over this point in the timeline. I think I'm ready to see what else there is out there. These chapters are actually way shorter than I thought. I think I already had got... Oh, this is just by pages, isn't it? I thought these were chapters, but I think they're just daily uploads. So the comic's not as long as I thought. I'm gonna click this one where the preview image is Invader Zim wearing a maid costume. Ugh. Ooh, is she sucking on her thumb? I don't like this. Again, a technically innocent concept, but something that I just don't accept as being innocent. So, are we considering Mandark an eligible love interest? Because I was saying that, like, this anime Dexter I think I would have been into as a kid. Yeah, maybe Mandark too. I don't know. This is a lot. Okay, is this Blossom? Okay, I don't understand what's going on. I need to backtrack a little bit so I know where we are right now. That one fateful night in the cemetery. I have to go back more. Ew, blood. Unexpected. Ew. This character is familiar. I know this is a show. Symbionic Titan? I'm probably wrong. It's Dee Dee getting shot with a gun? Yes, after the incident, I spent months in a correctional facility. Ever since I lost my one and only Precious, all I could think of was her name. Okay, he killed Dee Dee. Oh my god, look at this image! I don't know who Susie is. Is she from Chalk Zone? I feel like I'm just taking total shots in the dark at this point. Oh, this page is like a recap. Okay, that's actually really handy. Probably, again, because of the long gaps that happen sometimes on webcomics. But, good for me. Where we last left off, Blossom had been attacked and kidnapped by the genius and rival of Dexter known as Mandark. Greatly outnumbered, Blossom was no match against Mandark's minions and was taken captive and brought to Mandark's lair. Mandark now hopes to use Blossom to lure out Dexter and extract his revenge upon him. I think they mean exact his revenge. With the help of his New Jersey-dwelling friend, Coop, and his Megas XLR, that's the name of the show. Okay, Blossom's trying to melt her way out of the test tube, but it's heat proof. I don't know if this would work because I don't know what specific things the Powerpuffs are impervious to, or how hot their lasers are. But what if she like lasered the water and it turned to steam and then she would still be able to like not drown? But again, I don't know if heating the water to that point would boil her alive or if she's resistant to that. Oh my god, they keep cutting back to Dee Dee's gruesome death. I gotta love that. Face it, Dexter. You are a pestilence upon this world. Your family would have been better off without you. My beloved Dee Dee would have been better off without you. That's a bold thing to say if he's the one that shot her. Hell, let's not beat around the bush anymore. This whole world would have been better off if you had never been conceived. You're better off dead, my vertically challenged chum. I am doing the world a great service. Wait, vertically challenged? And, like, Dexter does look really short in this panel, but he's been, like, really tall the whole rest of the story. So, like, is Mandark, like, 6'6" or something? Because if he is, I walk back what I said about his head looking really awful. Now I've decided that Mandark is the most eligible character in this webcomic. This is a character from the Duck Dodgers cartoon? No. This might be a character from the Duck Dodgers cartoon. Atomic Betty? Atomic Betty. I think so. Okay, Blossom is drowning. Again, I just really want to reference that scene in that movie, but if you haven't seen it, it's kind of a spoiler. I'll just say I'm thinking about a Christopher Nolan movie. Her ghost is outside her body? She's all the way dead? Is Dee Dee's ghost... Dee Dee's angel's gonna put her... Oh, Grim, of course. Okay, I'm stupid. I like how she's, like, dying, and I was like, maybe we'll get a cameo from the ghost of Dee Dee, even though I know we're in a webcomic universe where the Grim Reaper is a major character. Oh my god! I was right, though. It's the ghost of Dee Dee. It's Angel Dee Dee. Look at her big old feet coming right at the camera. Ooh. It's a lot of foot. I'll just say that. I don't know this character, but it's obvious from the design. Is it, I'm just gonna guess, Beyblade? Is this a character from the series Beyblade? Wait, why is it a twist that Mandark has a sister? I thought this was in the cartoon. I thought this was just known. that also dances like Dee Dee. She dances just as beautifully as Dee Dee danced. In hindsight, if Mandark had a sister that was like identical to Dee Dee, but the Mandark version, it's kind of like weird and creepy that Mandark had a crush on Dee Dee. Oh, ooh, these designs. Again, you're just kind of like, well, that must be an original design because it's really unpleasant to look at. Doesn't have a face. Your eye just gets lost. Those of you playing the home drinking game, here's your next unnecessary shot of the panties of the little girls. Oh, this one counts. I'm just thinking about how the archives page was only like 44 pages deep. So like, how can this comic still be going? Because I feel like I've made decent headway through it. I'm just gonna give some constructive criticism to the layout of this page. I really feel like these pages of the comics are like titled, but they really need a number next to them of like where they rank and the total number of pages, or like a chapter 1, page 4, because like I know that I'm on page self-destruct, but if I try to tab over to like this navigation page, it's just chronicled like a blog basically. So it's like I can look by date posted, but then when I'm on this page, it doesn't tell me what date this was posted. So like if I don't remember what page of the archives self-destruct is on, and I go over here and I see I've jumped to page like 36 of the archive, I don't know if I've gone too far or not far enough. I honestly, like this image of Dee Dee on an operating table could be a flashback to her dying, or this could be like an intriguing new page where he brings her dead body back to life. So like, do I want to click it or do I not want to click it? Again, they just need to put like a little number. So it's like, oh, this is page 104 and this is page 92, and then I kind of have an idea of where I am. Ah! I'm glad I clicked. This is clearly in the future. Oh no. No. Is she still gonna date him after this? No. Okay, no, I've gone back in time. This is when he finds him at the cemetery. Or is it? He's gonna kill him with a scalpel. Yeah, okay, I think that was earlier. It's a reference to the song She Bangs, so that tells you how old this comic is. I think that was already a really dated reference when this came out. I don't really know who this character is, but she's just walking around in her underwear, and he even drew like a childish little pink bow on it. Just some major bad vibes here. Oh no, she's getting spanked! Guys, the vibes are negative. I like how the very next page is like this guy eating a branded Lay's bag, and I want like Frito-Lay to be like, we want no part in this, okay? Oh no! This is the purple Powerpuff Girl. I was like, nobody talks about that one because it was kind of problematic. They rendered that in their like sexy anime style. Blossom's angsty backstory is that they had to callously like let this character die. Oh, here's a new character. Is this an OC or is this another cameo? It looks like a cameo. Is this Mandark's sister? It must be. I can't use the nav page because I don't know where I am on it, so I'm just gonna have to manually click through the parts that look boring to me. Okay, we're back at Dexter. I think I'm the most fascinated by the story surrounding Dexter because he's kind of the silliest character to make into like an anime boy protagonist. Also, like, this is obviously the A plot. Everything else are just little side narratives. I wonder how much like content I'm gonna get out of this video, or if it's gonna be a lot of me skipping like long lapses of speaking where I'm just clicking through pages that look boring. I feel like this is always a good indicator of like the thirst level of a male artist when like a garment that is not by its very nature like can't be very form-fitting, like a suit blazer. And then you'll notice that it's like completely molded onto the breasts of the character, right down to there being like actual shading underneath, as though fabric has like settled under them, which again is not really a thing that physically is going to happen with a blazer. Like this shading is off the charts. My capacity for redirecting my thoughts seems depreciated. Dexter, if you feel that badly, we should go. An acceptable proposal. This is awful. Just any character that talks like this is awful. This comic is so boring. Dexter's going to fix The electrical system at the dance studio. I'm just gonna click through a lot. Ooh, okay, no, never mind. The teacher that she has a crush on is meeting the dad, so I'm gonna watch that play out. All right, any guesses as to who this is? I will guess now. I'm going to guess this character is from Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know, his design is like wacky enough that I would believe this is an original character. I'm a little curious. Okay, I think he's gonna just say his name in the next panel. Okay, probably an original character. At what point does he bring the Justice League in, you know? Okay, now they're doing like a beach episode so all the girls can be in swimsuits. Yup. Didn't take long for this. What is this? A bag of Pringles? What? Or is that supposed to be a can? Like, what happened here? I know this is a weird thing to fixate on, but like, what happened? I don't like this image. I don't like it at all. I like this image of the professor, though. Like, what's going on here? When did Blossom start wearing glasses? I think there was an episode where Bubbles got glasses, so like keep the canon straight, come on. Now they're in showgirl costumes. Wait, what? Thanks sensei. So she almost called him professor, but that's the name of their dad, and she has a crush on him? I don't like that. There was this panel earlier where there was like a parent-teacher conference and the professor was meeting Samurai Jack and like Buttercup was looking between the two of them, like rapidly looking uncomfortable. And I thought the point of that panel was like she was embarrassed that her dad was having a parent-teacher conference with this teacher that she had like a big crush on. But I was thinking like this panel is funny because the artist draws the professor and Jack very similarly. So like it's kind of funny that instead this panel comes across as Buttercup is noticing how these two characters look the same. And I was like, that's clearly not the intent because she has a crush on her teacher. But now she almost called him professor, and now I'm like, was that the point of the panel? And then there's the whole thing with Dexter, that he has a crush on Blossom, but they keep showing all these visual parallels where she looks like Dee Dee and reminds him of Dee Dee, and she puts on the ballet costume for school, and he's like blushing, but also thinking she looks so much like my dead sister, and it's like, what? Why is this a common thread? Okay, the bad guys are attacking. They've hacked XJ9. I still don't know who this otter guy is. Maybe he's an older, sexier PB&J otter. That one also snuck a little bit in. Got some more underwear there. There's some underwear. Oh, more underwear. It's weird, no? It's strange. More underwear. Oh my god, is this... No, I'm wrong. This is a Dexter's Lab character. I was gonna say, is this my gym partner's a monkey? But no, I'm pretty sure I remember this superpowered monkey from Dexter's Lab. The light! Something permanent happening to me. I love that. I love that that's a thing you can feel. You're like, oh... something with permanent status quo consequences is happening. Oh no. Oh my god, they've been turned into My Little Ponies. Where did this hit on the timeline? Was this in the Brony era? I need to know. Again, I don't really have an indication of like the original publication dates of any of these, but I really want to know. Okay, I've gone to his DeviantArt, and partway down the first page, boom, it's Sunset Shimmer. So, you know, Brony status is confirmed. Now I just kind of want to look through the rest of his DeviantArt. Apparently he loves DuckTales also. I just feel like this is kind of a treasure trove to get into his mind. Maybe I should do this after the comic. But oh well, it's too late. Oh, that's definitely Applejack. What did I say? If you're a Blossom man, you're a Twilight Sparkle man. And look there, we've got some underwear. Or at least, I think that's like the region of like nylon tights where it has that like printed on underwear section. I hate that tights do that. It's like we could just make the whole thing look the same, but instead we'll create this danger zone where if it peeks out it looks like people are seeing your underwear. It's like, why didn't you just make it all one cohesive unit? Anyway, tangent, but Yes, in case you were wondering, you can drink for that because we can see it from Twilight Sparkle. Do, 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 do. Fighting crime, trying to save the world. Here they come just in time. The Powerpuff Girls. Powerpuff, do 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 do. Powerpuff, do 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 do. Just fighting, endless fighting. I'm so bored. I guess I thought it would be like more interpersonal interactions, and like I feel like that's more cringe. This is cringe, but it's boring, you know? I'm just skipping so much. Think of all the underwear shots of little girls that we're missing while I'm skipping all these pages. I've been meaning to tell you, Bubbles. It's happening now. Professor, what's wrong? I've never told you, or your sisters, but you were not the first Powerpuff Girls. There were others before you. I was getting really desperate by the time Chemical X fell in, seeing as I'd accidentally used everything from Chemical A to W. The results were, spotty. I like how their dresses come out wrong. I like the one with the vertical stripe. I like imagining it comes out with the vertical stripe and you're like, no, a failed experiment. Side note though, this is the inverse stripe thing I was saying they should have done with the, I forget her name, the OC that's like an evil Powerpuff. Whereas some of them are just wearing like unflattering rompers, and that's what indicates they're a failed experiment. These are all just like dumb one-off in-jokes where they're all different names that start with B's, and some of them are like nerd references. By the way, I don't like this little showgirl outfit that she's been wearing. There was going to be some kind of pageant when the fight broke out, but I will say it's got a lot more coverage, especially in like the center loincloth area. So maybe it's more apt for this fight. I don't want to die, Dexter. Is he in love with Mandark's sister? Yes, he's kissing her. I think that's what's happening in that silhouette. Maybe it's a forehead kiss. Bubbles is embracing Courage the Cowardly Dog, and they're going to die. So there's that. The monkey is saving them by ripping the demon in half. Oh no, the monkey has sacrificed his life, I think is what's happening. Yeah, he's gonna blow up in the Earth's atmosphere. The monkey is gonna die for them. It was different than fighting you and your sisters when we met. T. She's like having some flashback to a picnic with Dexter that we never saw. Oh, look. The evil white-haired one is wearing like safety shorts underneath her dress. This is a first for this comic. I'm proud. I'm proud of this evolution. Okay, now they're drawn in like Adventure Time style. I think it's because there's some kind of dimensional flux happening. They're going to different art styles as like gags. Oh no, her hair's down. Something really angsty is about to happen. Still don't really know who this is, but it looks like they're dying, so it probably won't matter soon. Oh look, we're seeing directly up her dress, but it's like blacked out. It's a black void. Do you think someone like said something to him? Was there a scandal? And then he like hastily pulled back from all the underwear shots. Look again, Buttercup's head is blocking it. Do you think this is personal growth or like an externally motivated chastisement that he's had that's forced him to change this? This is nice. We're getting like a sister moment with Blossom and Buttercup. I feel like there has been no emphasis on any of that, like any of their relationship as sisters until this moment, which I imagine is kind of far in the webcomic. I have been skipping a lot. I love how like it's like a monkey's paw thing. Like they fixed the fact that you can see up their skirts and see their crotches all the time, but now the leg anatomy looks like this, where you're like, is she forwards or backwards? Where are her legs coming from? But you know what? I'll take it. It's maybe a lateral move, but I prefer it. See, now we just have dark voids where their butts would be. Oh, the underwear is back. I spoke too soon. There is no growth. I was wrong to believe. I have no idea who this is. Is it Dee Dee and she's just artistically shaded? Is it the ghost of Dee Dee? I have no idea what's going on. The snake boy is back. His proportions look whack in this frame. Is Buttercup about to die? Wait, did he just slit Buttercup's throat? What? I honestly can't tell. That's what happens when you reduce things to silhouette. He cut Blossom's throat? Okay, they're referencing a character named Sam, and I don't know who that is, But it just made me realize that I hope the Totally Spies characters show up. More underwear. This doesn't count, even though it's functionally the same. It doesn't count. I'm gonna skip all this Invader Zim stuff because I don't care about it. I'm gonna skip it all. Okay. Oh, wait, was that all a flashback? Because now they're back on the beach. They're back in their swimmies. I'm so confused. Oh no! Dexter and she are kissing. Blossom won't like this. This is the drama that I want, honestly. Blossom and Buttercup are being carried by Dee Dee's angel ghost. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. Did XJ9 get smooshed? Is she gonna die? The stakes are very low when a computer dies, you know? I guess not, like, I'd be really upset if my computer died, but I mean, like, from a storytelling perspective. Okay, the Rowdy Rough Boys are here to fight or something. The timeline is so confusing. Oh my god, Brony status confirmed. Blossom's Halloween costume is Magic, the fan-made beat-em-up game for My Little Pony. This project ended up getting shut down by Hasbro because it violated their copyright. So they redid it as like different non-pony characters. And I still see people playing the pony version at like Brony cons and stuff like that, but it's not officially distributed by anybody. I like how this also confirms the thing I was just saying about how like people assume that their like nerd waifu who's like a scientist who reads books would also be super into the video games they like to play and be bronies. So this was just a little out of timeline Halloween special, but that doesn't help my understanding of like what's going on at any given time. Keep it on DeviantArt, you know? Okay, I'm on chapter 12. How many chapters could there be, right? I hope and believe that I'm making progress here. Okay, now we're in the backstory of this girl with robot pieces. I don't even know if she's an OC or a reference to something. So I think she might be an OC, but like obviously I'm gonna skip all this because where are the Powerpuff Girls? Who cares about this? She's in underwear again. She's in underwear a lot, this girl. Still going. By the way, this flashback, oh my god, Rick and Morty. Oh my god, we must be near modern times. Oh no, like of course this guy would want to include Rick and Morty in the comic. I should be less surprised than I am. This is so embarrassing, watching this guy attempting to write Rick and Morty dialogue. Oh my god, I can't handle this. It's like I've seen the light at the end of the tunnel and it's Rick and Morty. So anyway, it's not just a flashback, it's Angel Dee Dee, or a character that resembles her, is like looking at her memories. This is called the Powerpuff Girls, so like why have they been gone so long? Okay, we're finally back to the Powerpuff Girls. Here's another little slice of Dexter dialogue. Mother, perhaps if you were to overview our recounting of reported misdeeds from these individuals, you might be more sympathetic to our plight. Just like such a case of thesaurus writing. And it's even weirder knowing that like my first instances of Dexter dialogue were from like 2004, and the newest ones are from like, I don't know, when did Rick and Morty start? Like 2016, 2017? And there's been no evolution, no improvement. If anything, it's a little worse now. Okay, now we're getting like a meta joke about it. So I guess, again, I have kind of an awareness of where we are in the timeline. These little one-off panels, again, should just really be on DeviantArt. They're throwing me off. It is a bit crazy because I feel like we just had the Halloween panel, and then that was another Halloween panel. It's not like a roast or whatever. I understand that, like, especially if this isn't your job, your ability to crank out all these, like, very detailed panels, especially, like, the fight sequences and stuff, must go very slowly. But that is sort of the downside of webcomics, at least amateur webcomics where they aren't able to do it full time. I assume he's, like, an amateur webcomic artist, but I do feel like this one is more known, so I don't know. I'm not sure if it's, like, turning a profit or anything. This sinister weasel character is back. Can someone explain it? Is this, is it a Hanna-Barbera character? Is it Top Cat? Top Cat is the character, right? Oh yeah, Top Cat. Check him out. Now that's a dapper cat. Well, that's, okay, so that's not Top Cat. My, PB&J Otter theory still stands. Buttercup, and she's the toughest fighter. Powerpuff save the day. Okay, now we're getting like a Christmas episode. Oh, no, that was just a scene. Scrooge McDuck! Scrooge McDuck is here! And it's like new Scrooge McDuck. It's like the DuckTales reboot Scrooge McDuck. I did see them on his DeviantArt, but somehow I didn't expect that. He's a sight for sore eyes, I'll tell you that. And this is also like a pretty on-model Scrooge McDuck. A pretty beautiful, well-shaded, lovely, lovely drawing of Scrooge McDuck. I'm happy he's here. Oh, and here's Star versus the Forces of Evil. I don't know about that. Top Cat, and Phineas and Ferb. Okay, so this is just, I think, a little gag comic. Yeah, it's like, oh, Phineas and Ferb went into a webcomic. That's the joke. I don't think they're here to stay, which is very sad. Oh, was that supposed to be Dipper? I don't think so. It doesn't look very on model. I can't tell. Oh, here's some drama. Let's focus on this. Okay, I was wrong. It's not drama. It's just them, like, talking about... I feel like this is a very anime thing where, like, the smart boy character just kind of, like, raves about impending problems and, like, no, you don't understand. But he, like, explains it in such a cryptic way that you're not really learning anything. I've just noticed that, like, the art style on this page, Blossom's eyes look different. And, in fact, they remind me of the eye style, like, the shading of the eyes on the Powerpuff Girls reboot. So it's wild to think that while this webcomic was unfolding, Powerpuff Girls itself went off the air, and then was rebooted with like a new cast and a new art style. Oh my god. It's a mold to make a robot Dee Dee. The Robo Dee Dee has got to still be out there. That's gonna be the reveal. The villain took robot Dee Dee, and she's evil. She's working for the villain. That's my guess. Maybe I won't even get to know. Maybe I'll catch up to the comic before it's clear. Oh my god. The Justice League is here. I've caught up? Have I? It's only a matter of time. They used the line from the song. Oh, also Dexter kissed Blossom. That happened. This is the second appearance by Santa. It's gotta just be a Christmas special. Oh, it's Princess, the villain from the Powerpuff Girls. This design next to all the other designs. Oh my god, what is this? This looks like a humongous entertainment character. It looks like Fatty Bear. I wish it was. Shadow the Hedgehog! And Darkwing Duck. And, Tuniacs Unleashed, I think. Grover. Bunny Rabbit. This is wild. Princess Celestia! I feel kind of cheated that, like, the crossover went full force and just completely went off the rails shortly before I've caught up to modern times. Marvin the Martian! Are we getting Duck Dodgers? The best incarnation of Daffy Duck? Or at least the sexiest one. Oh my god, Static Shock! Good for him. An Among Us comic. This is when we know we're in modern times. This part was being drawn in the pandemic. Oh my god, it's Cow and Chicken. Oh my god, I've caught up. Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, I finished the comic. It doesn't really count because I didn't really read the whole thing. Well, that's it. That was kind of fun, I guess. Let's talk expectation versus reality. I must say, and this is a weird thing to say about this particular comic, but I must say that I was disappointed. I guess I kind of imagined like more interpersonal drama, like that it would be mostly about like shipping, pairing the Dexter obvious self-insert or like wish fulfillment self-insert with Blossom or one of the other Powerpuff Girls. There was a bit of that. Like we did have multiple babes feuding over Dexter. But no, it wasn't much of that. It's a lot of fighting. And I feel also that this is kind of inevitable with a webcomic. But like you could tell that most of the thought that went into this story wasn't so much like the minutia of interpersonal reactions as much as the world building. Like this is probably kind of an offshoot of like him playing with toys as a kid or something like that, or him playing Cartoon Orbits and dragging his stickers around on a desktop background. I'm sure he put a lot of thought, like, you know, driving in the car and just thinking in your head, like, oh, the Powerpuff Girls, when they're older, they could go to school with Dexter, who would be hot now, and then here's how you could work in Grim and Mandy, and you could put courage in this way. So it was a lot of thought to like world building and also making up his own OCs where it's like there's a parallel dimension. There's like some dad villain that's raising this contingent of like super kids and they're all angsty. There's a robot girl. There's a white Powerpuff girl who's evil. And I think he just like really overdeveloped this universe and then was so keen to get it out. But again, this is like partly, I would say part of it is like his abilities as a writer, but I would say another part of it is the format being a webcomic where it's like everything has to be really packed in or else you're accepting that you're going to do a lot more labor and take a lot longer to convey your story. So if you're just like writing it in text, it's easy to have a lot of dialogue-based interactions between your characters where they're bonding, falling in love, having relationship drama, whatever you want them to do. But if you're going to be drawing a certain number of panels per page and you already know your output rate, where you're like, okay, I can do 1 page per week and it's going to be this large amount of work, then I feel like you start not wanting to just do dialogue scenes because then you're going to get really bored. You're going to be aware of how slowly you're moving. Whereas if you're doing action panels, yes, those are harder to draw because you're doing dynamic action poses, you're like choreographing fights. But in your action scenes, you can have all these twists and you can bring in your new characters and be like, I am the evil Powerpuff Girl. And then you can just have these gigantic speech bubbles where it's like the comic panel is your Powerpuff Girl OC kicking with her big giant feet toward the camera and you can see her underwear. And then the dialogue panel is just a huge brick of exposition. So I feel like that has got to fulfill your perverted little soul more when you're doing your webcomic, as opposed to just having Blossom and Dexter reverse shot in a school hallway talking to each other. It's just unbearable to get through. All these fight scenes, and every couple pages, there's like this info dump, while you're also expected to follow the layout and choreography of the fight enough to understand what's going on. And it's like, I don't care if Blossom is punching someone she just met, who's now like vomiting up this long explanation of who they are as Blossom is fighting them. That's terrible content. So I hope you enjoyed our journey into this web comic. I hope it was illuminating. I'm disappointed. I'm just gonna say it, I'm disappointed. I thought there would be more. And also, like, it is sad thinking that it's like a decade and a half of work, but it covered so little ground. But again, that's not a roast, that's just an observation about like the sad truth of webcomics that aren't your entire job. Which again, I guess I don't even know if this is his entire job. But I don't know, being like a one-man drawing team, it does sound like that would go really slowly. I guess that I like respect the love of the game, that he has continued doing this one specific webcomic and like stayed committed to it. But I do kind of wonder why he hasn't tried to pivot at some point to original work. Maybe he has. Maybe that's what one of these is. But I don't know. It's strange because this is like a huge amount of labor and time, like cumulative time, decades of your life to put into something that you can never monetize in any way. Actually, maybe he has a Patreon. Maybe it's like my Vampire Diaries video. Anyway, speaking of Patreon, thanks for your support, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this. You did ask for it. I don't know if you guys noticed this cameo from Frilly Frocks, my giant pony. I feel like someone on Twitter at one point was like, do you have any more giant plush? Like now you have 2 giant plush. And it's like, no, I have 3. I've had this one all along. It's just never been in a video before. But it's my giant pony. She's hanging out in this room right now because I'm cleaning my bedroom where she usually hangs out. She's very soft. Really good pony.